All right, diving right in today, we're looking at the spiritual seek again.
Always a good time. Lots to think about there.
Yeah. This time it's a personality test.
Yeah.
It's supposed to tell you if this is your first time around on Earth.
First incarnation.
Yeah. Kind of wild to think about.
It is. It is. And the test uses a bunch of statements. You see how much they resonate, and it kind of gives you clues to your soul's journey.
Okay, I like it. So the first statement is, I feel limited by the body and all its needs. I mean, I get that. Our bodies, they can be a lot sometimes.
Right.
But what's the deeper side to this?
Think about it. Some souls, especially if they're new to Earth, they might feel trapped by the physical body. Imagine, you're used to being pure energy, consciousness.
Yeah.
Then you're suddenly stuck with this body, limitations, needs, constantly. It's like going from flying to crawling.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So like always being annoyed by, I don't know, needing to eat or sleep could mean your soul's still getting used to, being here.
It could be. And think about it, souls that have been through multiple incarnations, they're usually more comfortable, more at ease with the physical stuff. They've learned to appreciate what a body can do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, statement number 2. I often wonder why I came into this world. I mean, who hasn't had those moments, right? Like, what's it all about? But is this something more specific here?
It might be. This kind of question, it often pops up for people who are, really sensitive, highly evolved maybe. They feel that pull towards the spiritual.
Yeah.
And they sense they're here for something specific, not just building a normal life or chasing achievement.
Like a cosmic mission.
Exactly. Their focus is exploring consciousness, maybe helping others evolve, or even connecting to a higher purpose.
Okay, next statement, and this one's kind of intense. Having children is a way to fuel this perverse society. Whoa.
Right. It makes you think. This one, it challenges how we see, societal structures.
Yeah.
If a soul, thinks society is inherently flawed, bringing children into that could feel like just continuing the problem.
It's like refusing to play the game.
Yeah, it's provocative for sure, but it shows how different perspectives can lead to really different choices.
Absolutely. All right, statement 4. Society is crazy and sick, but people will adapt to anything. This one feels like about the contrast between those who've adapted to Earth and those who haven't.
Yeah, like an outsider's perspective. Imagine a soul seeing human behavior for the first time. Fresh eyes, they see all the contradictions, the injustices, all the things that don't make sense because they haven't been, conditioned to accept them as normal.
Like they see the Matrix while everyone else is still plugged in.
Exactly. The whole structure seems flawed, whereas someone who's adapted, they might just focus on specific problems within that system.
Okay, makes sense. This next one, I feel this one. I have felt a strange sense of homesickness ever since I was a child. That feeling of not quite belonging.
Oh, absolutely. This could be like a longing for the spiritual realm, a sense of being, away from your true home. It's common for souls who feel like they've just arrived from other dimensions.
Like remembering a connection.
Yeah.
A belonging that's not here on Earth yet.
Exactly. And it shows up as feeling different, like you don't fully fit in here in this world.
Interesting. All right. Last one for this deep dive. And wow, it's a big one. Sometimes I want to destroy everything and rebuild based on different principles. Yeah. That's a lot of feeling right there.
It is. It is. This one highlights the clash between a soul's ideals, their higher ideals, and the reality of, being here on Earth. They see the suffering, the injustice, and they want to create a better world. And that urge to just wipe the slate clean, start over, really powerful, especially for souls who haven't, faced how hard it is to actually change things.
Yeah, it's easy to imagine the perfect world, but building it, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But it sounds like these feelings, they could push people to do good too.
Oh, absolutely. It might not be literally destroying everything, but it can fuel passion for social justice, activism, even just living consciously and ethically, making sure your actions match your ideals.
Right, putting those big ideas into practice in your own life. So let's say someone's listening and a lot of this is hitting home. What does that mean for them, like practically? What should they do?
Well, first thing, got to remember, this test is just a starting point. It's about self-reflection, not labeling yourself. It's more about understanding how this perspective might affect your experience,
Not a box to fit in, but a tool to understand yourself better. I like that.
Exactly. So, for instance, if you feel that limitation from the body, you might be drawn to things that help you transcend that. Meditation, energy work, just being out in nature.
Ways to feed your soul. Connect with
Great.
something bigger.
Exactly. And if that question, why am I here, keeps coming back,
Hmm.
maybe it's a sign to focus on experiences, growth, not just material success. What makes you feel truly alive, connected to what you're meant to do?
Yeah, yeah. Creative stuff, deep relationships, work that feels meaningful, stuff that resonates with your values.
Exactly. And that homesickness. Exploring spiritual practices can help, or philosophies that give you a sense of belonging beyond the physical world.
Finding your tribe, those who get it, instead of trying to force yourself to fit in where you don't.
Right. Now, that statement about fueling a perverse society, that might make people think twice about kids, but it doesn't mean first-timers can't be parents.
More like be mindful, intentional about how you approach family.
Yeah. Think about how you raise children with values that challenge the system, if that's what you see. Critical thinking, compassion, that sense of responsibility.
Redefining family, not rejecting it, based on your values.
Exactly. And even that destroy and rebuild urge, it can be channeled into action, constructive action.
Making a positive impact, even if it's a small one.
Volunteering for a cause you believe in, advocating in your community, just living in a way that shows what you stand for.
So even these kind of tough feelings, they can actually lead to good things.
Oh, for sure. And that brings up something interesting. What if these first-time souls, they bring unique gifts to Earth, fresh eyes, and that desire to make things better?
It's like they're, what's that saying, beginner's mind, coming to a world that's stuck in its ways.
Exactly. They haven't had all those experiences, the conditioning, so they're not afraid to question things, challenge the norms.
See solutions others miss because they're not, I don't know, limited by the same old thinking.
Right. And since they're not as focused on the material stuff, they might be more tuned into things like compassion, empathy, connecting with nature. Less about getting things, more about experiences that, feed the soul.
Bringing some balance back,
Yeah.
reminding us to slow down, appreciate the small things, connect with, like, our hearts, the things that matter.
And that idealism we talked about, that wanting to change everything, it can turn into action, powerful action, fueling passion for social justice, taking care of the planet, just living a life that's kind and true.
Holding up a mirror to society, showing us the bad, but also reminding us of what we could be.
And here's the thing, even if you don't think you're a first-timer, we all have these qualities. We all have that creative spark, the compassion, the drive to make a difference.
It's just sometimes life gets in the way. We forget to, like, nurture them.
Exactly. So think of this deep dive as a reminder. Reconnect with those parts of yourself no matter how many times you've been around.
We can all bring more light and love into this world.
Absolutely. So one last thought for you. What's your unique contribution? What gifts are you sharing?
Keep exploring, keep asking those questions, and keep shining bright. Until next time, keep diving deep.